These are just very basic videos. Do not look for finesse or uh, usage with all the people. Some of the people might look for real clarity and good quality. This won't have good quality. But let me try and start talking about this pattern. Well, steps are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It could be anything. A shape has two matchsticks. Another one has five matchsticks and so on. So you can make up some kind of story, but we are not interested into that. Let's get into the business because it's something to do with the NCA level 1 graph. Uh, it's a non-linear graph, just to warn you beforehand. And you can find it out by graphing it. What do I mean by graphing it? Just simply plot it, and plotting is pretty simple. You draw the axis. This is the coordinate 0, 0, and that's where the graph starts. And then if you go 1 across, you go 2 up, and if you go 2 across, you go 5 up, and so on. So well, the thing is that I can get some idea that this is not going to be a linear function. So it's somewhat going to be something like this. It might confuse you initially because the raw graph, well, gives you a feeling it might be a linear function. But the thing is that we have started off with some kind of function which is not linear. We can figure it out by simply jotting it down, writing the y values. Let me go straight to x and y values. X is the step numbers and y is the variations in the vertical axis. And the next number was 10 and 17, 26 and 37. Now if you go for differences between these two, that means 5 minus 2 gives you 3. That's what we call first difference. And the first difference for which is the third column is 3, and then 5, and then 7, and then 9, and sorry, so on. One other thing we need to remember at level 1, if the first difference is not the same repeating number, a constant number, then we got to think about other models. The linear, the straight line, is not going to work. Straight line is not going to work. So our next course of action will be second difference, finding out the second difference, and we simply follow pretty much the same rule, 5 minus 3, and that gives me 2, 7 minus 5 gives me 2, and so on. And by now, the level 1 students should be quite familiar with that kind of function. The second difference is a constant number. It's not changing. It's remaining same all the time. So that will give you nonlinear, and specifically it's going to be parabolic function, right? So one other thing we know that this will give me a nonlinear, quadratic equation. Now, how do we write the equation? That's going to be ever challenging task. Uh, we can approach it in number of different ways. Uh, Conceptually, fathomable way we can discuss. That will take longer time. For the sake of simplicity, I'll keep it pretty straightforward, uh, uh, so that the students can get pretty good idea before the exam. Right. I'll stop there and come back later on because the video is getting long.